Over time, it has been apparent that the wealthy continue to advance quicker than the average individual. They are becoming increasingly rich every day. I'm sure you've spent sufficient time contemplating their actions. What information do they have that I do not? Today is your day of good fortune. I'm going to educate you on the money principles that the wealthy adhere to faithfully, and I am convinced it will immediately enhance your financial picture. The first rule is to diversify your revenue sources. Having a single source of income is one way to become financially stagnant. What would you do if you lost your job or became unwell and needed time off? You will not only lose money, but also be severely constrained in your expenditures. However, only privileged individuals are aware of this. In fact, I do not know any affluent men with a single source of income. The majority operate many businesses. Others have made investments in industries that could be rewarding. In addition, people can make income from a variety of sources, such as making speeches and sitting on corporate boards, in addition to their standard wage. All of these are ways for them to continue receiving income. I feel you should adopt this perspective as well. Living paycheck to paycheck is difficult since unexpected expenses frequently emerge. If you have many revenue streams, you'll be one step ahead of your financial troubles. The second rule is to concentrate on building wealth as opposed to appearing wealthy. The most frequent mistake made by those wanting to emulate the wealthy is acquiring expensive items. Yes, the wealthy have the best of the best because they can purchase anything. Not being flashy is not a primary objective. The affluent think about the big picture. Every major expenditure is viewed as an investment. They ensure that sufficient assets are set aside for their future and own a sizable nest egg. Do not fall for the temptation of purchasing expensive stuff to be fashionable. There is a significant distinction between appearing to be wealthy and being actually wealthy. Spend your money on yourself before going on a shopping spree. Third rule, use debt as an instrument. Did you know that wealthy individuals do not fear incurring debt? They utilize debt to their advantage, unlike the average Joe. Instead of using credit cards to purchase groceries or go on vacation, they want to use debt to enhance their wealth. A typical example is when they acquire a home for rental purposes. If you calculate how much money you'll make each month, you'll likely be able to repay the loan within a year or two, regardless of how risky it may appear. In actuality, increasing your income will raise your net worth. If you ask me, I believe it is an excellent concept. Why wait for money when you can get a loan and work your way up? All of you should spend some time learning how debt might work to your favor and formulating a plan you can adhere to. Invest prudently, according to guideline number 4. When it comes to investing, the worst thing that you can do is to rely on the advice of others. If there is one thing you should learn from successful people, it is the importance of doing your homework. They always perform exhaustive due diligence and, if necessary, consult an expert. Making impulsive financial judgments, in particular, is a recipe for disaster. Investing is a crucial step in your financial journey, especially if you view it as a source of additional income. This is why you should steer clear of get-rich-quick schemes and only invest in what you fully comprehend. Contact a professional who can analyze your finances and objectives and build a sort of roadmap for you to follow. Rule number 5 is to maximize tax advantages. Rich people are notorious for taking advantage of tax benefits, even if they occasionally receive a negative reputation for doing so. It is not criminal to comply with the law in order to minimize taxes as much as possible. Everyone has access to the tax code, not just the wealthy. Everyone should be aware of the tax benefits of selecting their investment accounts wisely, as well as the potential tax benefits of maximizing their tax advantage to investing each year. The good news is that these criteria are not insurmountable for the average person to adhere to. You will be one step closer to becoming a wealthier version of yourself once you begin to adhere to them. Sixth rule, expenditure must be consistent. The best way to remain affluent is to ensure that your spending aligns with your goals. Having goals will help you control your expenditures and stay on target. The rich have a clear understanding of what they intend to do with their money. This may involve maintaining a particular lifestyle or passing on their wealth to future generations. Therefore, it is uncommon to find them spending money on the wealthy. The perspective of the wealthy is always centered on expenditures that will increase their wealth. This is why they strive to avoid things that lack significance in their lives. It's time for you to start investing on things that truly count. Rule number 7. Maintain a large amount of cash on hand in case a pandemic breaks out immediately. How much money do you have on hand to go through this? According to financial experts, a solid emergency fund should cover 6 to 12 months of living expenses. The wealthy have ensured that they have the funds to endure these terrible times. They guarantee that they have enough liquid assets or cash on hand to meet their immediate demands. A reserve fund is always required so that unforeseen events do not disturb one's life. Not only the wealthy may save a substantial sum of money, they have cash on hand due to their ability to save with discipline. 6 to 9 months worth of expenses should be saved in an emergency fund. However, it is not necessary to save so much money at once. Simply continue to work toward this objective with each paycheck. Set up an automatic transfer of a specified amount from your bank account to facilitate the process. Rule number 8. Hiring advisors is crucial. Wealthy individuals surround themselves with tax, legal, and financial experts. These are the 3 closest friends they hold dear. The reality is that affluent individuals do not attempt to do everything on their own. In reality, no one has this skill. If we had to deal with all of the obligations that come with money, we would become exhausted. Even if you make very little, you can engage an advisor if you want to increase your chances of accumulating wealth. Alternatively, making an early investment and establishing a support system will help you attain the wealth you desire in the future. If you do not have a financial advisor, you will likely continue to make the same mistakes and place blame on others. It is imperative that you do not hire a less experienced professional simply because their rates are less expensive. Always remember that cheap is expensive. To avoid wasting money on ineffective advice, you should hire the best counselor you can afford. Initially, study them to ensure they contain all of the necessary qualities. This may lessen your risk of losing money due to someone else's incompetence, poor judgment, or immorality. Rule 9 is to contribute to a nonprofit organization. Rich individuals recognize that donating to charity benefits both their financial standing and the global community. This, on the other hand, could be viewed as an attempt by the wealthy to appear good through a cheap publicity ploy. Did you know that if you itemize your tax returns, you can deduct contributions to qualified organizations? Increasing your deductions, as opposed to taking the standard deduction, reduces your taxable income. Donating to charity is an effective way to reduce one's tax burden. However, it can be implemented by anyone. Keep your receipts and include them with your donation to a charity. Consider establishing a donor-advised fund for more thoughtful giving, whether you write a check to your favorite charity or donate clothing to Goodwill. These simple, low-cost funds are offered by investment firms and can provide a tax advantage. When funds are deposited into the account, you can give on your own schedule. In the end, you get even wealthier. Rule number 10 is to utilize time as opposed to timing. Numerous people are confused by this concept. They typically prefer to capitalize on favorable timing rather than the actual time. The stock market is an excellent illustration. It is difficult to forecast what will occur tomorrow in the stock market. The wealthy are aware of this and do not attempt to work as day traders as a second job. Timing is less crucial than time when it comes to efficient investing. The majority of individuals feel that forecasting market movement is the key to achieving financial success through the stock market. Those who are successful, on the other hand, recognize that time and compound returns are the most crucial aspects in accumulating money. Contrary to popular belief, riches requires a painstaking buy and hold investment plan. Allow for market changes and avoid investing speculatively. Rule number 11. Put your tax in writing. How often have you neglected to complete a task that you had planned for a long time? We have a propensity to overlook little details that ultimately cause more harm than good. Having an idea and writing it down is what safeguards us against failure. Rich individuals believe that their riches is the key to their success. It is easy to see how they gain their success. Perhaps since this step appears obvious and straightforward, they wrote down their aims and ambitions. Numerous individuals absolutely dismiss it. Surprisingly, ignoring this phase allows individuals to entirely forget their duties, hence extending the time required for success. Simply writing them down brings them to life. Perhaps you will maintain a list of tasks to keep everything organized. Sit down and write down your objectives while you contemplate them. The affluent are aware of several money rules that the rest of us are unaware of. I'm glad you're aware now. You'll be handling money like a pro in no time if you put this information into practice. Thank you for watching, and until we meet again.